You know, I have to confess that I love my mute button because you don't know this, but I do a lot of singing while the intro is playing along. And I drive myself crazy and Luna crazy, but that's okay. She's used to my jazzy scat singing around the house. Anyhow, good morning everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines. This is oh no, Maggie. Well, I'm glad that you're still coming up negative, but being in COVID jail when the person that you live with is positive, that must be horrible. Ooh. Hang in there, girl. Hang in there. Good morning. This is Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together where we look after each other as best as we can. We read headlines from places near and far that are within Mexico. We listen to your comments and your suggestions and your ideas. We combine it all so that we can connect with one another, with our city, with our country, with Mexico's culture, heritage, way of life, and hopefully to improve our own way of life as a community of English speaking people, locals living here in Puerto Vallarta. It is a pleasure to get together with you today. It is Friday, May 20th, and we're happy that it's Friday. Yes, we are. Not that we have anything special planned for the weekend, and perhaps that is the reason why we're happy, because there's nothing special planned. I have a lot of work to do, but it's going to be a really, really fun weekend of just chilling and prepping for Sunday, our special get together and whatnot. What are you doing this weekend? Please make sure to let us know. And we'll read your comments during the second half of the broadcast. And as always, if you are new to these broadcasts, it is always a pleasure to learn that you are new and give you a nice welcome. We can do this if you write the word new in your comment, and that way I'll pick my nose and we'll give you a nice welcome. And can you imagine Diane Sawyer picking her nose during a broadcast? Well, that's why I'm not Diane Sawyer. Anyhow, also, if you have something really important that you wish to share during the broadcast, something that we don't want to miss, something that means a lot to you, please add a capital letter Q at the beginning. We will look for those Qs. We will comment on them. We will react to them, even when you may or may not like the reaction, but that's part of the fun of being here at Coffee and Headlines. I plan to unleash my pissy ass queen mode at least once today during the broadcast, so it won't be directed at any of you or anyone we know, but my pissy ass queen mode is definitely coming out today. And why not? It's Friday. So let's get the show on the road and see what happens. So, oh no, those are not my notes for today. Here are my notes for today. Yes. Yesterday, we announced a possible COVID spike in Jalisco schools that might prompt the health board to modify their current mandates and return face masks to schools. This note that we're looking at may or may not be related, but Governor Alfaro assured that COVID stats in the state, within the state of Jalisco, are stable as they relate to the number of active cases and to hospitalizations. His quote was, "We are going to evaluate the next 15 days because we wanted to measure the impact that Mother's Day had on the numbers, along with the elimination of face mask use throughout the state. This is why we will reevaluate during the first days of June and inform the population. But this morning's report indicated that the numbers are stable." Meanwhile, Jalisco's Secretary of Health published this lovely image asking the population to remain well informed and stressing that schools may require face masks if they consider it pertinent, but that the number of COVID cases related to schools continues at a low level. Did somebody jump the gun on that one? We don't know. But as long as our governor and the health authorities say we are doing fine, we must be doing fine. Locally, Unibus PB, the company that runs our public bus system, reminds the population that the use of face masks while on the buses is mandatory. And this is because many people apparently have refused to wear them. And there have been how many people? At least 80 incidents reported recently in which people that are riding the bus got all frumpy when they were asked to wear the face mask. And this is where I unleash my pissy ass queen mode. And I'm going to tell you why, because I'm sure that people will not get so pissy hopping on the bus if the buses were air conditioned as they were promised they would be. You see, I remember, I may have a pothead memory, but I remember I was still working at Lifestyles, the magazine, when they announced these swanky air conditioned buses. I had a car then, and then the pandemic came and I stopped riding the bus. But recently, when I'm riding the bus again, I'm like, well, wait a second. I can see the air conditioning units on top of the buses, so why are they not turning them on? And they just announced that they're resuming the late night service. And oh my God, they got so much flack on Facebook because people are tired. People were like, what the fuck are you doing increasing late night service when you cannot even get your act together with the daytime buses? So there you go. I unleashed a little bit of pissy ass queen mode. I'm sorry. It was restrained. I certainly hope it was. If you have problems managing your pissy ass queen mode, I tell you, Sunday, we will cast it off the surface of the earth. Or at least we're going to try. Meanwhile, here we see a very similar image of the Cuale River to the one we shared with you just a few days ago that I took. You see the nice workers are literally working their butts off, hoping to finish all the improvements along the river to make sure that the current does not cause any damage to surrounding structures. And only God knows if they will get the work done on time. Here's the image that I'm referring to. And, there's still a lot to be done. And I can smell the rain. It could happen anytime. So hopefully this will happen. Next, Mexico President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, seeing here casting a spell on U.S. President Joe Biden, is waiting, and they wrote waiting in quotes, for a reply from President Biden about the Americas Summit, indicating that he's hoping that his petition to invite all the countries in the Americas to the upcoming shindig will be taken into account. And he said, we are hoping to have an answer today or tomorrow. There is a lot of respect between us and the White House, and we hope that our petition will be taken into account. Of course, López Obrador had a virtual meeting this past Wednesday with Christopher Dodd, special advisor to the White House for all things related to the America Summit, which will take place June 6th to June 10th in Los Angeles, California. Will all Will all the countries be invited, even the countries that behave badly? We have no fucking clue, but we'll keep you posted. We will keep you posted. Last but not least, before we get into our weather, Mexico is declaring a war on vapors and vaping due to a toxic substance that can cause acute respiratory disease and even death. There is not much more that I can tell you about this news item, but if you vape on a regular basis, do anticipate that your paraphernalia may become increasingly difficult to find. I'm not a vapor. I have nothing against vapors. I vape occasionally when I'm invited to partake, and it's happy stuff. Like I did that this weekend, and I almost fell flat on my face, but it was lovely. Anyhow, you don't need to know about my bad habits. You need to know about the weather. Oh dear. Ouch. If you're in the middle of a sex scandal, apparently all you have to do now to get away with it is declare yourself a Republican. Ouch. Well, we don't have Republicans here, so we're not going to dive into that. We are going to dive into the fact that it is 25 degrees right now, feels like 26. Humidity is at 56%, and our Fahrenheit numbers are 76 degrees at present time. Our weather forecast for this weekend starts with today, a clear day with a high of 29 and a low of 20. Tomorrow, Saturday, will be a clear day with a high of 31 and a low of 20. And Sunday, again, a high of 31 and a low of 20, and also a clear day. On a clear day, you can see forever, said Barbara Streisand, I think. Yes, that was a movie. Moving right along, I want to let you know that La Niña, this weather phenomenon that comes and goes, is expected to cause more hurricanes in Mexico, and it will bring an increased amount of rain to several states in the country, including the state of Jalisco. So hopefully we'll get a lot of rain. Hopefully we won't damage anybody's property, but the trees, and the mountains are just itching for some water, that's for sure. I want to let you know that the so-called Mercado Joven, or the Young Entrepreneurs Market organized by the city, is coming back tomorrow. This time it will take place at the auditorium, at the stadium, at the Agustin Flores Contreras Stadium, which is the stadium that is right across the street from the Sheraton. It will take place tomorrow between 12 p.m. and 9 p.m. It will feature a number of young local entrepreneurs and their products. So hopefully, if you have nothing better to do, you will find something interesting to buy there and support the young folk here in the city that are creating a little bit of profit for themselves and trying to start their lives as business people. And now, every now and then, we choose to laugh at the way some of the television series names and movies that are released are translated into Spanish in such a way that they will captivate the interest of the local population. You see movies called Ghost, for example, which was not a scary movie. It was a love story or a thriller or a little bit of both. You cannot just translate Ghost to Fantasma because everybody would be inclined to think, well, it's a spooky movie, I'm not going to go. So promoters go through all kinds of measures to change the titles of the films so that they become more appetizing to the population. But this latest one just made me laugh. You see, Marvel Studios is premiering a series on Disney Plus that in English is called She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. So what do we know? Well, she's a Hulk, so she's green, and she's an attorney. She's an abogada. So what did they call this series in Spain? They called it Abogada Hulka. She is not a Hulk. She is a Hulka. She's abogada Julka, and this, of course, starts all kinds of commentary between Spain and Mexico as to who translates the titles more poorly or more weirdly, I shall say. And there are other examples included in this article. In Latin America, She-Hulk attorney at law was translated as She-Hulk defensora de héroes, or she who defends the heroes. But of course, in Spanish, she will be abogada Julka. Um, uh, this is really cute because, The Sound of Music in Mexico was called La Novicia Rebelde, which means um, the rebel nun. But in Spain, The Sound of Music was called Smiles and Tears, Sonrisas y Lágrimas. Go figure. Let's see, what else did they show? Oh, Home Alone. Yes. See, Home Alone in Spain was called Solo en Casa, which means Home Alone. Duh. But in Latin America, it was translated to My Poor Little Angel, because, of course, the kid ended up being home by himself. You may not find this amusing. I find this very amusing. If you don't find this amusing, just write stop, and I will stop. But let's see. Die Hard. Die Hard. What do they say about Die Hard? In Spain, it was translated to The Crystal Jungle. Whatever. I did not watch it. In Latin America, it was translated as Duro de Matar, which means hard to kill, or Die Hard, whatever. The Fast and the Furious, let's see, was translated literally in Latin America as Rápido y Furioso, but in Spain it was translated as A Todo Gas, or Full Throttle, and so forth and so on. There's a series of strange translations in this article that always make me laugh because, ultimately what these people want is to sell tickets and get people to go. But some of the titles, Lord have mercy. Sonrisas y Lágrimas for poor Julie Andrews, who was a nun. Anyhow, that's what we have for today. Let's take a quick look at your comments just to see what you're up to on this Friday. Let me know what you're planning on this weekend. What am I going to do? I'm going to crochet. I'm going to prepare the Sunday shindig. I am finishing my Guadalajara thing. I've already cataloged and edited photos from 2 out of 3 cameras, and that I brought with me, and I am almost done. Yay! Let's see what we have. Lots of good mornings, as always. Nice to read the report from Meggie, and I hope you remain negative through this. Meggie says, seriously, being scared to go to the kitchen wearing an N95 is quite something. I hope it doesn't amount to anything. I really do. Gyro stage finished early today. I rely on Kathy to remind me about coffee and headlines, but she is so involved in watching the gyro that she forgets. What is the gyro? You guys watch bicycle races, don't you? I used to watch those because of all the spandex, but I don't know that I know what a gyro stage is, unless I'm going to eat it. But those are gyros, not gyros. Anyhow, I'm intrigued. Let's see what else we have. Question: do all residents have to get a tax number? That's a legal question. Do you have to get a tax number? I would think so. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a tax expert. But I think part of becoming a resident is that you are assigned a tax number. Now, whether you have to declare taxes or not, again, is beyond my level of expertise because I'm a Mexican national. But hopefully, Luis, somebody will chime in on this important question. Let's see. Deborah says, this weekend I am continuing to embark on my nomad life. I'll see you later this year, I promise. Well, wherever you are, we're always here, Deborah, and we're always happy to see you. Da, da, dee, da, dum, da, da, dee, da, da. Marie comments. Thank you very much for that. Yes, both temporary and permanent residents get a tax number. There you go. Da, da, da. Oh, an article I read says before July 1st. I just don't think that is possible. I wonder, of course, I'm reading your comments out of order and out of context. So, Joe, I wonder if that is related to the river preparations. And again, I keep my fingers crossed because it'll start raining anytime. Let's see what else. Marie reports felt a couple of rain sprinkles out on the terrace last night. Won't be long now. Yay! Yes, I want it to rain. Enjoying my second full day of retirement today, says Richard. Starting out with coffee and headlines. That's a nice way to start. That's a treat. I usually have to catch it on YouTube. Well, it's a great pleasure to have you. Absolutely. Let's see what else. I remember when vaping was called a bonging. Well, I still call it that, Alan. It's just that my bong is not a fancy electronic device. But yeah, a bonging. I love it. Let's see. Die Hard, a great Christmas movie. Seriously? I never watched it. Deborah comments, as I learn Spanish, I'm realizing the difference between different dialects. Absolutely. Like there are words here in Mexico that are very common, and there are words that if you use those common words in other countries, they have an entirely different meaning. For example, here in Mexico, we've referred to a very popular sweet bread that you can get at a bakery as a concha, which literally means shell. But a concha in Argentina is not a pretty word. We can get into these one of these days. So maybe that's a good idea. Yes, one of these days when we're discussing Spanish, we'll talk about words that are nice to say here and not so nice to say in other countries. Oh, thank you, Dan. Giro d'Italia. It's a 3-week tour of Italy. Giro is pronounced Giro. Giro. To me, it's pronounced spandex and nice, sexy men butts, but let's not go there. Let's see. Sue chimes in. There is a new law that all temporary and permanent residents need a tax number. Good to know. Let's see what else. Da 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 da. Do 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 do. We are temporary, and they wouldn't give us a tax number as we weren't buying property. One of the banks told us we needed one. Well, I hope you get one because you're supposed to get one. I don't know. Again, I don't know the details, but I know that there are people out there that can provide expertise, Brian. If you get stuck, just let us know. Somebody will hold your hand. I am very sure of that. Dan continues to have a conversation about professional bicycle racing. You know, when you guys come back, I want to watch some races with you and Kathy because it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Let's see. Many Christmas references in Die Hard. Okay, I'll bite. I'll add it to my list of movies to watch. And I think we are pretty much done. Interesting. The tax numbers must be obtained by July 1st. That's good to know. There you go. And I think this brings us to the end of today's broadcast. And I'm always grateful to see you. I'm always grateful for all the ideas you plant in my head, in there, for topics for future broadcasts. But not today. Well, yesterday there were a few, and I will collect them accordingly. Today, we are going to start our weekend with some house cleaning and some planning for the weekend and planning for Sunday afternoon if you want to have a few laughs and share some of your most awkward moments being a pissy ass queen. Just join me live Sunday afternoon. You should have gotten your invite through Buy Me a Coffee. If not, you know where to go and you know what to do. Stay happy, stay kind, and stay in touch, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao.